and streaming at the same time. There could be audio issues. There could be any of a million things that could go wrong. But if everything does go right, I will put this on YouTube. So.
Well, you already invited Mojo, so issues are definitely in your favor right now.
These are facts.
Pam, I feel like an idiot. Would you mind introducing people again for YouTube?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
You ready to go?
Go for it.
Okay. We have...
No, I'm not ready. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Just sorry.
First, I'd like to introduce No Black Thunder, who is the community manager for Strange Loop Games, who are the developers and producers and distributors of Eco Global Survival. Say hi.
Howdy ho.
And we also, from the Gang Z server, from Paul Source Jr.'s Gang Z server, we have Mojo.
Hey.
And Vortac.
Hello.
And we're all here today doing stuff.
Doing stuff and things.
Yeah, we're going to find out all about Eco and what's going on with it from No Black Thunder and tear my world apart, probably.
I'm trolling Dread. I'm creeping on Dread, but I don't think he's there.
Oh no.
I think he's Easter egg hunting or something.
Oh, okay. Dread should be here. If he'd come in, we'll introduce him.
He's just sitting here. Oh man, look at him. He's got the beard, but he's also got the lazy eyelids. Like he just woke up, and now he's like looking at me. Oh, now he's trying to hit me with a hammer. I think I've gone too far. Oh, I just fell. I'm out of here.
Oh, he needs me to resend the thing. Okay, let me...
I should probably look for a place to live, I guess. That might be the first step. See, the thing is, I don't want to be too close to other people because I don't want to, like, intrude on their, like, expansion ideas, but, Pam, you should meet me at Dread's when you're done sending him the thing, and, when I find a place, maybe you could tell me if it's a good spot or not, because I really don't know.
Okay, make sure he got that. Did you get it, Dread? Yeah, he's got it, okay.
Thanks, Selena. Appreciate it.
Alright, let me find Dread's place. I gotta go north.
My Nightbot is savage. Yeah,
No Black Thunder, where are you? Can we feed you or something? Since you're our guest of the day.
I'm good. I don't
He's at Dread's house.
Oh, he's at Dread's house? Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get all these trees lining the road like this?
I've got
Dread?
some food if you guys need it.
Oh, cool. Dread has been planting.
Ooh.
He's planted trees.
That's
Can anybody
awesome.
plant trees, or do you need a skill for it?
Dread?
I don't know. It's been a little. So I'm sorry. I haven't been actually logged on for like a week. Let me take a look here.
I wonder if it's agriculture or something.
Well, there is agriculture, and I think you can plant without it, but I don't. Well, no, you can't because you'll have to have the hoe.
Right.
So you have to at least get farming tools, and then you need to put some points in your efficiencies, or else you'll get like a 1-for-1, so you won't really get a yield at all.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I love my hose. Sorry, had to.
Now you see this wonderful street here with these trees that Dread planted on either side. We have a couple of videos back where he had done this, and it looks so pretty. And I had it in the video with all the tree, pictures of all the trees lining. And then he sent out a screenshot of all the trees. He came along and cut all of these down, and there was just wood all over the place.
When I logged on the server for the first time, that's what it was like.
Just dead trees laying everywhere, all chopped up. It was something else.
It took me forever to clean up because I have efficiency in logging, and so I can only pick up 2 pieces. And then,
Oh gosh.
and there were probably about like a couple hundred pieces down.
By the way, Black Thunder, I just want to give a special shout out to whoever the developer that was responsible for allowing us to walk up things without jumping. And he needs a raise.
Oh, big time. That
Or she, whoever did it.
Oh, shit. If you guys need food, it's in this cart right here. I think you can get to it. There's some stuff. I don't have a ton, but it should help for now.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
It might have been, let me see, that has been doing the fix.
Well, it was
Clamoring was excellent.
It was genius. Now that's something you got to set up in the options, right? Right here, guys. If you're playing this game, enable clamoring. Just check it.
Yep. Hit escape. Press enable clamoring.
Yep.
Do it. No
Profit.
regrets.
Oh, it's the best. Oh yeah. Pam, do you have an idea of a plot of land, maybe, or anybody? Dread. Anybody have an idea of a plot of land I could build at? Like, I really don't know where to go.
I'm further south from here. There's a lot of land down around me, but just Dread knows this area up here better. He and Bish are kind of close up here.
Yeah, I gave Bish a hard time because he encroached on my space. I was going to build a wall around him, but I decided not to.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls. We're gonna definitely get to the questions. Don't worry, I've got them all. I'm just taking my time. Angel, thanks for the follow. Welcome to CageCast Live. Oh, look at this. Oh, I like this.
There's a really nice area just east of Pam.
East?
But there's Coho over there too. And just
Selena,
west of
thanks for the
Pam
follow.
actually
Welcome
is
to
a lot of
CageCast Live.
trees.
You said east.
Yeah, west of me is a pretty nice area. Nobody's built west of me, and there's a lot of trees and everything.
You guys
there.
need like road signs, like we should no, seriously, we should like name these roads so like Pam can say, oh yeah, I'm on the corner of whatever the road is, and
Yeah, I'm almost directly south of Dread. If you just follow
Okay.
his tree-lined road out and head south, that'll take you down to just about my place.
They put in funny how the auto jump works in this game, but it's terrible in Minecraft. I didn't know there was an auto jump in Minecraft. That must have been after I stopped playing.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling.
That's the first thing I turn off when I start a new game.
But actually, the auto jump function didn't work earlier, so it's working now. So
Yeah, it was working. We were, No Black Thunder and I were playing Direwolf yesterday, and I kept ruining the farm, and it was because I was auto jumping.
That'll do it. So you talk about over here, Pam?
Yeah.
Like
It's
south
kind
of your house?
South or west of it.
Okay. I'm looking for the most flat ground I can get because digging this
You're looking
stuff
for
up is
flat
not
ground.
going to be fun.
do you have a flag?
A flag.
I haven't done anything yet. Like anything.
You can claim land without a flag.
Oh, you know what? I like this right here.
This is nice.
But the problem is there's going to be a lot of berries here that are going to go away.
Oh.
Charmaine, thanks for the follow. Welcome to CageCast Live. But I don't know. I mean, I might have to kill all these wildlife to make myself a house.
Progress.
Oh well, that's progress. That
Pam
happens.
knows I'm not super concerned about the environment.
No, he's not. He's gonna ruin the world before the
I-
meteor can get here.
I don't.
Taking the eco out of eco.
This is really nice over here, Cage. This is nice and flat.
It's even better down here, but I like being
Uh-huh.
next to the waterfall though.
Ah, the waterfall is nice.
Maybe I build a bridge over it, and then I can dump all my all the stuff I get from the iron into the water. What's it called?
Oh, the
Tailing?
tailings.
Yeah, that's going right in the water.
Horrible.
Maybe I could build a dam with it.
Oh man,
I'll have to
Purple
think
water,
about.
here we come.
I'll have to think about that.
now who's downstream of you? That's Ono down there.
Sorry, Ono. All right, I think this is good. So I should probably make a little shack or something, right? Or cut down some trees, or let me cut down some trees.
Definitely.
This tree's going down. All right, let me get a question. Let me get a question thing up here. I'm trying to think of a way to keep the questions up as well as Twitch chat. I don't see
You can
any way
pop.
to do it.
Have you tried popping out Twitch chat?
I need a third monitor is what I need. Autumn's got a monitor coming in for her birthday. I should just take that one and be like, no, I need 3, sorry. I'm just kidding. All right.
Happy wife, happy life, man.
Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting that.
They'll remind you.
Okay. First question. I'm gonna butcher people's names, so I'm going to apologize for that ahead of time. The first question we have is from Yo Jimbo. Actually, that was pretty easy. When will Eco? And a lot of people ask this. This is probably the most asked for thing. When will Eco arrive on Steam?
Soon, TM.
There you go.
It's actually to elaborate a little bit on that. It's a little bit hard to say when it will be arrived. When it's ready, it's something also we could say, because Eric wants to release the game in maybe 3 to 6 months. Hopefully in 3 months, but
What,
well,
fully?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
beta.
Whoa.
Release on Steam, yeah.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, we release on Steam for early access on Steam. We're gonna do early access on Steam first, and then we're gonna release it maybe later this year, by the end of the year. It's the plan. But as we all know, times you set up like plans, it's not always going as planned. So it's really hard to say. Instead of giving a date, I like to say soon, sometime in the future.
It's ready when it's ready.
Yeah.
Like the Valve school of thought.
Right.
Or you could just stop making games altogether, which is like the Valve school of thought.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Half-Life 3 hype.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Portal 3 hype.
I think I'm going to make... Where do you think I should make the bottom, like the actual part of my house on? I'm thinking I want to make the house on this level right here.
Well, you like the waterfall, so you want to kind of overlook the water.
Well, this water,
right?
this dirt's all gonna have to go bye-bye.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of streams with me doing busy work. Now, if you don't mind me saying, and I'm not a developer, and I don't tell people their business, but I've played a lot of early access games, and I can understand you guys wanting the game to be really, really polished, even in an alpha state before it goes on Steam. But for me personally, this game could be on Steam today, easily.
Yep.
In my own, personal opinion.
Yeah.
You know.
I think that with having it early on Steam is not always a good idea, because building up slowly a community like we're doing now, and having a slow growth while fixing stuff and breaking stuff, which happens way too often with each update. It's like it would just give a lot of bad reviews to us, and it's really not always ready to be fully played, especially the staging builds. What people think is like, oh, staging build, yeah, that is the new build that is stable, like, oh,
I think there would have been a lot of nasty comments about those carts.
Yeah.
After they were fixed.
Yeah, if it had
those
been on
carts.
Steam, those carts would have gotten horrible reviews.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that RimWorld did, which this game is already positioning to do, is they waited forever.
They did
The
wait a long
game-
time.
Every single alpha build I played on their website, not on Steam, every time they released one, it was completely functional. They did hot fixes very fast, and as a result, I think that's why it stayed at the top of Steam's favored list for so long when it came out on Steam finally. It's still technically an alpha, but he just waited and waited and waited to put it out on Steam. Everyone's like, come on, we want a Steam release. Well, that wait paid off in the end.
Yeah.
People love that game.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Love
Factorio's
so
another
good.
one.
I actually bought RimWorld when the first alpha came out. I was like, oh, that looks cool.
Yeah, I played on
actually,
Alpha 7, I think, was my first one.
Yeah, I was able to jump in at the last day of the Kickstarter for it, so I got to grow with that game.
That's amazing.
It went through some interesting changes, but the developer was very dedicated. So,
For those of you guys who want to ask questions about Eco, save your questions until we're done with the YouTube stuff, and then it's going to be hard for him to answer questions on the fly because he's not like. Do you want to explain about that? I don't want to.
Yeah. So I'm the community manager. I'm not a developer. So my most my part of the job is working with the community, doing support stuff, replying to mails, helping people with account issues, and basically keep the community running as good as possible. So I don't have always the answers to everything. It's especially worse because the whole team, besides a few people, are living in Seattle. I'm living in Norway. and we have one of our art designers that is from Australia. So it's the information flow on some of these things is not always, or like the internal things that is not always good between us. So I have to ask often.
Right.
Yeah, I just wanted to get that straight, everybody, so they know the live questions might be a little bit difficult. All right.
But that doesn't mean that if you have a question that you ask that there's no answer to, No Black Thunder can take it back to the developers and see if we can get an answer, and Cage can tell you later.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a possibility. So I see there's one question about, you said it does not have a PNE at the moment. What does PNE mean? What does he mean PVE?
Who are you talking about the YouTube comments, or someone said that in
Yeah,
the chat?
I'm seeing one YouTube comment there at the moment.
Well, I'm gonna go in order just because I don't like know where that one is. Yo Jimbo had another one. He wants to know what's the next big update going to contain, and what you got planned for upcoming vehicles / storage items.
Okay, so we have something called that is stockpiles and realistic storage. Some of you might have seen it on our Facebook page, because that's where we put out little secret videos from time to time with upcoming stuff. We have also other long-term, a lot of more government changes planned.
Oh.
Yeah, so waste and pollution management is something we have in work, and there are a couple of other surprises that I am not allowed to talk about yet.
Oh,
That's pretty exciting.
he's holding out on you guys.
Tell me everything now.
This is an outrage. I want my money back.
Now you need to go to the YouTube page and see the stream. It's pretty cool, guys.
Okay. What do we got next? Okay, the official Ryu? Ray YU? I don't know. Sorry about that. What's your favorite part of the game? Okay, so I'm not sure if they were asking this of me or him. So why don't you answer, and then I'll give my answer. That way we get him covered.
So I've been playing games a lot. Like, I've been playing DayZ and 7 Days to Die and stuff like that. And Rust. There's always one thing that I don't like about the games, and that's basically people going around just killing each other. The whole PvE thing, PvP thing. It's hard to get players to work with you together and have something realistically. So I love that Eco is all about the teamwork of players.
That's one of my favorite things about it too. Absolutely.
Something that I've noticed in people who are just getting the game. This is coming mostly from my audience, and no one directed the question to the stream or anything, just as I'm thinking about it. A lot of people ask me straight up, hey, Vortex, should I buy this game? And I always tell them, I love this game, you should buy it, but I'm going to warn you that you really need to work to find a community out there to play with, or I'd recommend buying a 4-pack with your friends, because that's like the perfect, starting amount of people in an eco world. Yeah. And I think that's why the price model, I'm just making an assumption here, I think that's why the price model is set up that way, to encourage people to buy it together. That's how I interpret it.
Yeah,
so,
I think you're right. Yeah,
you're exactly right. Is it that so the price model? A lot of people say, "Oh, $40 for a single key. That is pretty expensive." And yes, it is expensive for the first, but the development is pretty expensive, and also we set the price pretty high because we don't want to everyone just buy Eco and then it's buggy, and then put it away and never touch it again.
Exactly.
So the $40 also help a little bit about you thinking, am I willing to support the developers creating the game? And if I'm willing to actually put into energy, it's a form of doing it, and it has been working pretty good so far, most of the time.
Right.
So.
And the other thing is too, if you buy, once you buy into it, and say you buy a whether you buy one, because you can buy one now, or if you buy a 2-pack, which they have, or a 4-pack and get your community going, you can go back in now and buy single invites, and you get a price break. I believe they're $35 if you buy the ones you have it, so that you can build your community that way.
It's correct. You get a $5 saving on the every invite you buy.
I did not know that. Wow.
It has been pretty. It has been actually a feature that was requested, and we were scratching our head like, "You want to buy 500 keys? What?
Yeah. I want to get keys for my friend." I'm amazed at the number of people that come in that buy different ways. People have bought packages as gifts to give out to their friends, and there was a guy in. There's an official Eco Discord chat, which everybody can come to. But there was a guy in the other night talking about how he and his friends got together and they all started a PayPal fund, and they all contributed their money until there was enough money for them all to have keys. And then he went in and bought keys and bought a 4-pack and then a whole bunch of additional keys, and they started their community that way.
That's at this stage in the game, that is how I'd recommend people going about playing Eco is get friends first.
Yep.
Show them the game with YouTube videos, streams, etc. Get your community together first, which is not traditional. Usually a community forms around people playing a game, 1 or 2 people, but I'm suggesting you find these friends who are interested beforehand. You have to kind of like anticipate how long you're going to play, make sure everyone's going to contribute, and it's,
it doesn't work as well when you're by yourself, basically.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not a game you can just buy and hope that people kind of show up and it works out.
Right. We have public servers.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
Yeah, the whole thing is what I wanted to add. It's like a common question. Can you play this game single player? And it's like, yeah, maybe. Well, you can play alone by hosting your own server, but you will get pretty fast bored. Because everything takes so much longer doing it alone, and it's more fun playing with friends.
Yes. Because you'll get to points where.
Cut out.
I'm sorry. You need to. You get to a point where you really need somebody else doing a set of skills to get you what you need to progress in your own skill. And it really helps to have cooperation.
Absolutely, it does.
You could always set it up so that the meteor doesn't hit in like forever.
Right.
And then you can go through each and every skill by yourself. But I assure you, this game is way more fun with people.
Yes. Now, there are public servers out there. Like Kill Servers keeps up a public server here in the US and in the UK. For those people who do buy the game by themselves. And we have a lot of people who come in and go, I just bought the game, and can I play by myself? And like No Black Thunder said, we kind of go, yeah, you can, but I think you might want to go find a public server.
So I was told from the jump that you guys, the main reason you charged $40 for it, I guess it's still $40, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that you want like people to play it like seriously. Now, is that price going to go down when it goes on Steam, or is that going to be the price you're looking at, or you haven't decided yet?
We haven't decided yet. As I said, beside that having set high price, the other issue is the game development is actually pretty expensive. You can easily blow off like $500,000 a year with just 5 developers in software costs and average salaries and stuff like that. So it's not cheap developing a game.
I will never whine about the price of a game again. Oh man.
on that subject, let me just add, if you've ever played Minecraft, which I'm sure plenty of people here watching Eco have probably played Minecraft at one point or another, imagine how much you paid for Minecraft. At the time when it first came out, it was really cheap and it slowly got more expensive.
Right.
And I just want you to consider how many hours you got out of the game no matter what you paid for it. And then consider how much you'd be willing to pay for it today. Just knowing how many hours you could potentially sink into it. And I would argue that Eco can give you that same amount of like fulfillment in terms of like hours per dollar spent. And that's how I personally judge games when I'm thinking about spending $40 on a new indie game. So my whole point is I don't think $40 is an outrageous price when you consider all this game offers, all it has planned, how well the developers communicate with everybody. There's a lot of confidence here, at least on my end of it as a consumer, that these developers are going to be here for me, you know, a year from now when they're still working on the game and I have a question or whatever. So
I think the problem is it's competition. All these are the early access games don't touch $40. Most of them, anyway.
Exactly, but it's not a good standard that these early access games have set, in my opinion, because now you have this problem.
I think I've gotten every dollar's worth out of this, but I don't know what a good. I mean, I'm going to use Subnautica as an example. I know they're not the same type of games, but you know, survival games, early access survival games, they're in the same boat. I think of them as close, but when those games are like, you know, $15, $20, it's definitely a tough thing. But for me personally, like they said, if you have friends you can play with, I would 100% say you should definitely buy this game. Just know that it's not. Like, well, actually, that's another good point about it. It's not like anything else out there. And that could be a good point, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
You know, like, it's not like you're going to have zombies come in and attacking your home and you got to defend yourself. There's not much out there as far as stuff you have to be worrying about hurting you, you know? Okay, so there's a big meteor. Okay, fair enough. But other than that, you just have to worry about not poisoning the environment. And I look at that as something to strive for. So that's really not a problem with me. So,
well, the thing for me is I compare it to the game that I have played the longest now in a while. This is probably EverQuest, which is 7 Days to Die. And I started playing 7 Days to Die back long before it came on Steam. And when I bought it, and we're talking, 5 years ago? I paid $35 for it. And at that time, people thought at that time, early access games weren't a big thing on Steam. And people were paying $30 to $40 for, to get into an alpha that games were selling outside of Steam and that sort of thing. And we didn't really think about it, but it was a little bit more expensive, but they were doing that to meet their costs of development. And because of that, they've stuck with the game. I'm a little leery nowadays at buying a $20 alpha because I wonder in the back of my head, yeah, maybe they're going to sell a lot to start with, but is it really going to keep selling? And at $20 a pop, are they going to be able to have the money to fully develop this game?
That's a great point.
There's also the issue with if you suddenly get an overnight hit and sell millions of games and like you need to have the infrastructure getting it running, and having a slow community growing is better than having like a overnight thing and you don't have the capacity to take care of everything.
Right.
That's a great point, because going back to Minecraft, like I said a second ago, the game ended up going up in price over time. And that was a really interesting way to do it, because everyone, you know, was used to, oh yeah, you can get this game for $20, and suddenly it's 25. And you know, it's like, oh, I thought you said it was 20. Yeah, it was yesterday, and they probably needed that money. So it's a lot better. Minecraft's an anomaly anyway, but it's a lot better to pay more for a game early, get it developed, and then have the luxury of lowering the price once you know you have a finished product to shell out.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know where that norm came from. I don't know why people think early access means it's cheaper. Because in all honesty, it should be more expensive than the final product. Because if they make it cheaper, they're not going to have enough money to finish. And I know that point's been said multiple times here, but it's a very important point, because as I believe what No Black Thunder was saying, you can blow $500,000 in a year developing a game, and it may not be done. But what are you going to do with that? People have already purchased the game expecting it to be done. You gotta do what's right by your customer.
So there's also a small issue with all early access games, and that is, will it be done, and will it turn out to be the game that I want it to be? And so when you're backing up an early access game, you're also taking a risk. You know, you are sort of an investor. You're investing your money in helping supporting a game that might turn up to be your dream game, like
Right.
people do with Star Citizen right now, which is a pretty good example actually on this. So people spend a lot of money just to support them and to get the funds to make it the greatest space game ever.
Really quickly, I just need to address this. I am recording this as we speak, but this is my first time recording and streaming at the same time, so I don't know if it's going to come out okay. We did some tests earlier and everything came out fine, but I have every intention of putting this whole stream on YouTube. So hopefully it'll be there, and if it's not, it's something went wrong. So look for it like Tuesday probably. So.
And I am recording it, and I believe Mojo's recording, and
Yes.
we're going to be putting up some highlights on our channel, so there
Cool.
at least will be highlights.
It'll be on there, yeah.
Come check it out.
Well, let me ask you this: Did you guys do a Kickstarter for this game, or did you just go right to releasing it on your?
There was a
by yourself?
Kickstarter.
There was a Kickstarter.
There was a
Okay.
Kickstarter. Yeah. So I'm actually originally a Kickstarter backer before I actually got to do what I do today. So
Yeah,
this
he
is
was one of the first. He was one of the first people that signed up.
Wow.
Well, that's neat.
And the other thing I want to tell you guys is that, because one thing I've heard from some people that come into the Discord channel going, $40, I don't know, I can't afford $40. I don't know if I give you $40, is this game going to be around because of this game or that game that I bought and it's now dead on Steam. Is if you're worried about something like that, come into the Discord channel and see what goes on. The developers are very active. I mean, you have a support problem, and the developer may not be able to answer you right away, but they will. No Black Thunder can either get in touch with them, and they can try to solve problems, or they'll just pop right in the channel and answer your question.
Crazy Zani made a good
Yep.
point. He or she, I'm not sure which one. He. Okay. As a father who has to buy 2 copies per game for him and his son, he said, it's hard and he's got a budget. I don't think anybody's, if you got a budget, then you got a budget. But, if this game really looks like something you want, then save up for it for a month or two, and
Right.
get it down the line. Like he's saying, they're basically asking for the money in the quantities they are because they need it to complete the game. They actually want to complete the game. And I'm not going to crap on a lot of early access devs because honestly, I kind of usually steer clear of the ones that bail on their projects. But yeah, there's a lot of early access devs out there that just kind of, I hate to say it, take the money and run,
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. No, I'm done.
I was going to say, to add to that, is that sometimes it looks like they took the money and ran, but they in fact just ran out of money because they sold the game too darn cheap.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm.
If you don't have the money to, these people got to pay their bills. If they don't have the money, if they sold the game too cheap, and they don't have the money to continue developing it, well, they're kind of stuck, and that's why that's part of the reason some games get dropped. So.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's some really good games out there that I have bought that were $20 games that I really loved. And Cage knows what some of them are because we've played them together, and they just died out. We stopped hearing from the developers. They stopped updating, and eventually they got taken off of Steam. And what the big problem was is they ran out of money. And if you don't have money to pay your developers, they leave. They go find other jobs, and there's nobody left to write the game.
I mean, we all have, usually a family to feed, or we have to feed ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so these guys got to make sure that they can feed their families and whatnot. So I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it's definitely consideration.
I actually have gotten angry people asking why the hell we make not this free to play. You shitty bastards! You take $40, make it damn free to play.
I don't play free to play games.
No,
There are a lot of.
I'm not saying
really
there's not good
amazed.
ones. I'm not saying there's
I'm
not
really
good ones.
amazed at the
Just
people
saying.
out there that feel they're entitled to be given games.
Yeah, I don't. If I see like sometimes people be like, oh, you should play this game or that game. If it's free to play, I usually just look the other way. I don't like. you know, there's been very rare games that are free to play that I liked. Like I can think of Creativerse, and I can't think of any others. So.
Well, Unturned comes to mind, but I love that game. So.
Oh, Unturned. Okay, yeah. Good call. It's a great game.
There are some incredible free-to-play games, but I
Yeah.
totally agree that it can be it sours the waters for sure when you have games like this who need funding and deserve funding, and it's like, no, it should be free. Like, well, you don't need to play.
The issue is that developers do free-to-play games because they're afraid it's hard to get people to buy the game, with the content it is, and then they say, okay, let's make free-to-play game, and we do microtransaction. And it's working for many of them, especially online games. But the issue is when you have to pay something to get to the same, when you have things that are pay to win in the end, it's breaking the game and the balance of the game.
Right.
That's at least what I personally think. This is why I also don't like free-to-play games, because they always have microtransactions.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's Creativerse's microtransactions now.
I mean, they got to make their
really?
money somewhere. Again, developers don't work for free. I stopped playing free-to-play games because what was it, Legend or one of them went free-to-play, and it was an MMO, and I played it, and I realized I spent in 1 month I spent $80. $80 on this game that if I would have subbed to it, I'd spent $13 to. And when I looked at the bill and I looked at, okay, I've got to have ramen for a couple days here to offset it. I swore off free to play with microtransactions. I just because I get into it. I'm like, oh, I can just buy this, I can buy that. And at the end of the month, you're like, wow, they made a lot of money off me.
Yeah.
But people don't need to misunderstand it and say, oh, I never will pay play free to play games anymore, because it's if you like the game, go ahead and play it, but just make sure you don't waste all your money on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of free to play games aren't really free. Yeah.
Creativerse was a free to play game that I did play and I loved, and I would stick up for Creativerse. I know what they were charging for, and it was totally cosmetic. Although in a game like that, cosmetic means a lot because that's like a big part of it. So I wasn't thrilled they were selling blocks, but I got over it because I really liked the game and the developers seemed cool. So
Well, you did like I did. You bought it originally when it was first.
Yeah.
They were first charging for it, right? And then they gave us gifts for having been paid customers. So we got into it a little differently.
Yeah.
We initially bought it. Yeah.
yeah. Well, we should get on with some questions. Okay.
Oh, sure.
So he answered his favorite part of the game. My favorite part is the roads, and like the way you move things around, and I think it's going to get better. He was already talking about stockpiles, which sounds awesome. And I love the idea of a game. I tried to get into this in that other game. What was that other game we played? That grind heavy game. I always bring it up when I talk about this game. It was
Life is Feudal.
Life is Feudal. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the idea of stuff being really hard to move around, and then giving you the tools to be able to do that. Wheelbarrows, carts, vehicles. I just love that, and that's probably it's probably a weird thing, but.
Yeah, Life is Feudal is a pretty hardcore game, and it's super realistic on how hardcore it is.
We tried it.
Hey, don't talk bad about Life is Feudal, or Boris will come after you. If anyone's
Boris
watched the videos,
it's definitely getting pretty fast going alone. It's much better with friends. It's
For those of you guys
one
in
of those games.
For those of you guys in the chat who don't know what Life is Feudal is about, well, imagine I just cut down this tree and I cut a log about 3 feet wide, and then I put it on my back and tiptoed back to my base. That was Life is Feudal.
Wow.
But one of the developers, Dread bought up Boris. One of the developers has a bear, a real bear, guys, a real, honest to goodness. It was a black bear, wasn't it, Dread?
Sounds like something Madmal would do.
yes, it was.
And they had, when they first released the game, they had a video from their development studio that they showed off their studio and all their developers and everything. And when you walk in the front door, there at the kitchen table sits the bear.
What?
I think I have seen that image.
And he's just sitting there at the kitchen table. So the joke for a long time was, there were all sorts of bear jokes. It was something else.
All right, let's
That's
see what else we got
amazing.
here. What's your favorite part? I'm sorry, did you answer that one actually? Your favorite part of the game? You did, right? I thought
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. So, Chris S. Are the carts butt fixed? I'm guessing cart bugs.
Cards bugs, yeah.
That was in this update, right?
No,
Yes.
the butts on the carts.
Yeah, the
Butts on the cards. Yeah.
You heard it here first, folks. Butt carts coming in Alpha 6. Tell your
They're
friends.
fixed, right?
we're not cracking it, so
So Scene has been working really heavily over a long time now on fixing vehicles, and it has improved extremely. I wouldn't say it has been perfectly fixed because it's still an alpha and there will be bugs, and maybe the next update will break all the cards again, who knows. But for now they are mostly fine. There are some minor issues that I've seen where they still can sometimes disappear.
Yeah, I think every now and then the disappearing carts thing comes up, but they're not flying up in the air. We can't play rubber band races anymore, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
My cart comes home after it disappears sometimes.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, they do come home. Yeah.
I had some real bad issues with carts. It was to the point where I felt like I was being trolled because if your cart was messed up enough, you had to pick it up, and every time you picked it up, you got a new deed, and they would not allow you to do anything with the deeds, and I would just have chests and chests of deeds. I'm like, oh my god.
You know, I don't like doing like cheats, but I did get rid of deeds in the cart cart inventory cheat because I couldn't hold on to them. I just had so many of them.
We had actually a couple of community guys doing a hotfix for the deeds where you could just delete them.
There was a mod for it. Yeah.
I have a question. I have a question for you. I don't know if this is a game design choice or if it's just something you haven't addressed yet. But there's a lot of things in the game you can't just get rid of. And maybe this has been. I haven't played this game in like a month, so maybe it has been addressed. But if I have a deed just made out of paper, why can't I get rid of it?
I think we haven't just addressed it yet. It's like more like of a bug because all of the systems we have since the first alpha were like prototyping things, and then we iterate on each system, and then we keep adding, which of course breaks the whole game again and makes it completely unbreakable. This is why when Eric says, "Oh, next major update, 2 weeks," and 2 months later, here it is. Because things just keep breaking, and it's really a slow progress doing a game because every time you do some major change, it breaks or something, and it's a small team, so it takes time to get to everything around. This is also why cards have been broken for so long time, because we haven't had the time to get there yet, and yeah.
This is taking a long time. I think I might not dig out all this dirt. I have to think about something. I'm gonna think of another way to do this. Maybe make multi-layered. Like I don't know. Figure something out. This is taking a long time. All right. Next question. From Chris S. Again. Will there be more animals available to farm/raise as pets or livestock?
So more animals. You don't gonna have most likely any animals. You can have like a farm with like in Minecraft, where you can have a cow and a sheep inside a bin, and you farm them for milk and stuff like that. This is nothing we have planned right now, and this is maybe we're looking at it in the future again or post-release. But first we need to fix animals in general, like the whole movement stuff, because that is still not as close as where we wanted. And after that we need to see how much work it would get and how much it's requested and stuff like that. So for now it would be no, you don't get stuff like that, but we're looking at increasing a little bit, like having the animals do more, like they keep fighting each other and you see that hunting each other, and maybe also in the future be able to attack the player, but that's nothing we have looked at it yet. Or that would be a cool thing we would love to do.
Wartak
the
would love
wolves
to be
attack
attacked by
you.
wolves. Yes.
Yes.
Let me just put in my request for kitty cats, though. I need
Kitty cats. Need kitty cats.
I had a pet fox for a whole video.
Oh.
Yeah, he was stuck on my stairs, and I could walk up and down and pet him, and all of that. It was pretty cool.
I'm a little.
I get a lot of pets on my roof, it seems.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's pets on the roofs all the time. I'm a little surprised you guys are not taking advantage of animal husbandry, because I feel like in an ecological game like this, you're missing a lot of opportunity. And I'm assuming it's just like a time thing. You can only get so much in, or have you guys talked about animal husbandry or?
Well, I talked a little bit about that with the other dev, and it seems like the issue is time and work, because doing AI scripting, especially here in Unity and the way the game is set up, it's really hard, really hard, and yeah, so that's the main reason why we don't have it on a to-do list, at least for now. Maybe in the future, never say never, and. There's also, depending on how well Eco is selling, we're going to keep expanding after the full release too on Eco.
Right.
As long as it's financially viable, of course. we all need to be paid.
And there's a pretty healthy modding community already building up for Eco, and the modders have talked among themselves that things like adding in a domesticated cow or a chicken or something. Once, if they give us access through a modding API or whatever to add models, we could add a cow for people, or we could add a chicken and stuff.
Yeah, if you open it up to modders, man, they could do. I've been playing Starvation mod, which is a 7 Days to Die mod thing, and it is incredible what they can do. So I hope you guys are planning to support modders as best you can.
So this is also a thing. If you look at, I think if you look at Kickstarter or something like that, our hope is to make Eco really mod friendly, like that you can make a first-person shooter out of it. Of course, I don't think we will manage it to get it so far. But we really want to support modding, because we now, and we have seen it from games like Minecraft, is that mods are really things that keep a game live over a long time.
Right.
And right now we only have server modding. We had earlier client modding, but that broke, and they haven't gotten around on fixing it yet. And when they fix it, they want to change it, so it's a new iteration on the old idea or the old code on how that worked earlier. But of course, there are a little bit questions when it comes to security, because if you just, it's easy to just say, hey, here you have a client-side modding downloading from the server, and this could be used for malicious attempts, hiding codes inside that suddenly downloads virus and other stuff. So that's something also we need to look at, and how we can minimize the risk at least.
But there's already a lot. I mean, they're already supporting the modders that are modding. I'm in the Discord channel a lot, and the modders will come in and they'll be wanting to add this, or they'll be wanting to add that. And when they have a question, they ask, and the developers will answer them, whether it's something that can possibly be done with what they can get to in the code, and, what they're looking for in the code to modify and stuff like that. So it's already pretty healthy.
How do I pick up a chest?
Hammer.
Oh, am I supposed to have a hammer? Because I got a chest. But
No, you have to get the hammer.
You can research something that gives you a hammer, right?
Hammer, yeah.
All right, so the research table's the next thing I have to do?
Right?
You're gonna need a research table. You're gonna want one on your own. I can tell you where there is one. I think Dread has one, and I know Chris has one, but you probably want your own.
How do I harvest plant fibers? Just
the gathering skill
grass
will give you a sickle, and you'll cut grass with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you have some wood and some stone, you can make a hammer in your workbench here.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. You want,
I'll do that. I didn't even see
have a hammer if you want me to pick your chest up for you.
Oh, no, that's all right. I should get one. Just gotta find some stone. All right, let's find another question. Okay. Mac Gilmore said, ask about the blocks, if there's different blocks.
So, not sure what that means. We talked a little bit earlier if he asked maybe if we're gonna do more decorative blocks. And for right now, if that is the question, I hope that is, we're only adding blocks that are useful. And that is because we we need to use the time on doing game stuff instead of just adding decorative blocks. But in the future, when modding gets in place, maybe modders can easily add new block types.
I was asking for blocks when I was playing, specifically blocks like corner blocks, slope blocks, stuff to so not everything's so square and angular, stuff like that. So maybe that's what they were talking about. But.
Okay. I think we have been talking about this too, how we want to do it. I'm not sure. We had some tests, and I think some of those are already in game, like a little bit more sloped for the dirt at least. But yeah, it's taking a lot of time. But if people have like specific examples, they can always put up the ideas on our forums, and we go through them and implement them at some time.
I could give you examples. The game that does this the best, by far, better than any other game I've played, is Empyrean. You know, just check out what they did, and honestly, just do that if you can, because that was ridiculously good. I mean, even the way they do it, they basically have one block, and you can open up that block into an array of all different kinds of shapes. So, you know, let's say you want to build a house, and you need regular blocks, you need slope blocks, you need corner blocks, you need 2 other kind of blocks. You know, in like Minecraft, you would need all those different kinds of blocks. In 7 Days to Die, you would need all those different kinds of blocks. But in that game, you just get one block, and then you right-click, you can choose the shape. It's very unrealistic, but it's also incredibly streamlined.
The way Eco is working now, that is sadly not possible, because all blocks are voxels, you know, and there are a couple of engine limitations as far as I understand that.
Well, they
way
kind
it's
of
set up right now.
They kind of could do it, but what Cage doesn't realize is even in Empyrean, it's not. There are behind the scenes. What you don't see is there really are slope blocks in the game and corner blocks in the game and all of that. It's just that you get that block by selecting that shape from one major square block, and it just changes to that block. So yeah, I mean, one way or the other, I think they could probably add the shape block that would give you a corner block or a slope or a wedge. I think wedges would be really important.
Well, as I said, it's a little bit hard right now because the way it's set up. Because I don't think voxels have any orientation information built in them. So. And I think we also use voxels to merge buildings into a single mesh, which reduces what's called the number of door calls.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
If I understand it right. So it's really in depth and not easy to explain why it's the way it is right now.
Yeah. I do know that voxels can have shapes like wedges, and circular blocks are a problem, but wedges.
Empyrean's a voxel
model them. Yeah, Empyrean's voxel based.
Yeah, but it's using a different kind of voxels.
It doesn't build like full rooms like you guys do.
Right.
Empyrean actually has a. I don't think they have proper voxels for the ground. It's only the ships and buildings. They have.
Well, they have. I mean, yeah, it kind of like you can dig it out. I mean, you can. I don't know, you know, exactly what voxel means, but I was always under the assumption that meant you could destroy or take apart anything in the environment.
No. A voxel is like a particle, you know. So you put several particles together. So one voxel here in Eco and Minecraft is like one block. That's a voxel, okay. And you have like limited information sometimes, and sometimes you mix them together with objects like the ramps in Eco. Those are objects; those are not voxels.
Right.
And you need to build your voxel engine around it, how you want to do it, and it's not easy.
So would you say that voxels, if you wanted to compare them to something in real life, would be like a Lego per se, where you have blocks that you stick together and they have defined characteristics and they are different than like an object that you would place in the game?
Yeah, so voxels is the thing is with voxels that they need to be all equal size to work, you know. So ramps cannot be voxels because they are more than a voxel wide or big, you know, size difference. as far as I understand, you need to have like all voxels need to be the same size in the game world.
So when 7 Days to Die went to took out the blocky textures and stuff, is it still a voxel game? Like the
Yes,
ground?
it is.
It is because it's like
Yes.
because it reminds me a lot of Empyrean, but I guess there's little subtle
But they
differences
changed.
there.
But they changed their voxels from squares, if you'll remember,
To
the
diamonds.
diamonds. Yes.
Mm.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna have to go as it is Easter, and I got a bunch of holiday stuff I gotta take care of.
Okay, thank you for hanging out.
Did you have any more important questions that you wanted to get in real quick before you leave?
From my audience, I think we kind of touched on it. Just the thing I get asked the most is, should I buy the game?
Right.
So that was my biggest thing I wanted to ask on behalf of them.
If you're not sure if you like the game from what you have seen, I would recommend waiting instead of buying it. And yeah.
Yeah, unless you're like one of those people who loves supporting projects like this, consider it a Kickstarter. Don't buy it alone, planning on having a ton of fun playing solo. But if you're like, you want to support it anyway, then yeah, great. But definitely go into it with your expectations tempered by the fact that this is a team game. This is not a solo experience first.
But if you're looking for a great game for, if you have a group of a bunch of people that play games together all the time, this is kind of a great team builder type game.
Yes, it is.
But I'm going to head out. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm sorry I couldn't stay for the whole thing.
Yep, we'll see you later.
See you
Thanks
later.
a lot for coming, Vortek. We appreciated having you.
Absolutely.
Have a good day, sir.
You too. Nice
good
meeting
day.
you all.
Nice to meet you.
All right, I just had Autumn call me like 4 times. I'm like, I'm just kind of in the middle of something. I just asked her what's up to make sure she's not like broken down or something serious.
Now, can I ask one quick question before we get off the topic of blocks? In Eco, is it possible to do something like a paint and a texturing tool so someone can like change the color of the block, like a tint, or maybe even like if I wanted to make a outside look like stucco and wood inside, I can do that?
Right now, it's not possible the way the system is built up. No.
Okay.
So this is something that we would need to try to work on and see how we solve that issue, because we're talking about like real big and hard game issues to solve and how
Yes.
to make it, because it's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
Because the way the skin is applied to a block right now, the skin is applied as a solid piece. So, it's, if you have a texture on one side, the texture is the same on all sides. They'd have to redo the whole way they map the textures on a block.
Mm.
See you later,
But-
State Union.
To add, we talked to No Black Thunder and I talked about this a little bit with modders. Modders could feasibly come in and give us a whole bunch of new textures for blocks. So maybe at some point we would have a way to install textures into the game that could be applied to a map, and then you could have a stucco block and a painted block and a metal block and things like that.
That'd be interesting. I was just trying to think of maybe a kludge, pardon my English there, a temporary solution or a temporary thing to make to make people happy. But it all depends on how everything's put together in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, it's not easy. It's how the background stuff is done, and yeah.
I've got a
No
question.
problem. I appreciate you answering the question.
I got a question. And you guys probably get this a lot. Are you gonna have shift click in the game anytime soon?
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't. I have heard about it one time, but I haven't talked to John and the other guys yet about it.
Yeah, it's a
I haven't
big
created-
deal. You let them know it's a big deal. Okay.
They
Okay.
are gonna make it so the escape key will
Yeah,
not
you saw
bring
me
up
just
the
do that,
options
right?
all the time.
You saw me do that, right?
Yeah,
Ugh.
they are gonna fix that. So.
Yeah. So there are a lot of things. Me and Eric, as an example, had a long time ago in one of the first alphas before I was anything more than just a backup. we had a small discussion. Like I was like, I want to have shift to be able to run, and he like, there's no game point in that. There's no point in having it. You don't need to run from things. But yeah, but it's nice to have.
I still hold shift. I hold it down every time I play this game.
Yeah.
I vote for shift to run as well.
Yeah.
I don't have to run from something, but oh man, it makes it so much easier for me to traverse, even if it uses calories. I mean, that might be a great trade-off.
Yeah,
That's
that'd be cool.
true.
Yeah.
I want to go fast.
I personally agree, and I think we can push it again. But yeah.
Okay, everybody jump on the forums and ask for it.
We want to go fast. Come on.
Recently we actually got a couple of buttons at least mapped to the stuff like chat, backpack, and map, so you can just push the buttons.
Yes, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
yeah,
so
just
much.
Thank you for that, by the way. That was a big
Yeah.
help. That was amazing.
We also need more food things with fat in them.
Yeah, I want fatty food.
Yeah, it's always my like lowest thing. I can never
I
get it
need
going.
avocado or something.
And you
You should go to the forums and
Not-
go to the modding forum, and there's a guy over there called MW who mods in food. Ask him for food.
not only that, but they actually lowered the fat intake on tallow.
What?
Damn it.
I didn't realize.
Tallow's a bad one anyway because it's so simple. You usually
Right.
get negatives with it anyway, but man.
Yeah.
All right, let's
I
see.
got kicked off Discord.
Oh,
That's
Well,
the
no,
second
sorry.
time that happened today. But I was about to say I have to take a quick toilet break, so be right back.
Okay.
okay.
Oh, no
Yeah.
problem.
What am I looking for here? Carbs. I need carbs without vitamins.
Carbs
Good
without
luck.
vitamins. I don't know if there's any carbs without vitamins. Bread? No, I think bread.
My
has
vitamins are way too high. It's the problem.
Yeah.
Ah,
Now,
Let me see what.
I'm looking at your stream. Your vitamins aren't too bad, man.
oh,
but if you
charcoal.
eat more of anything, it'll push that pie graph around.
It still went down.
Try flatbread. Do you have any flatbread?
I have whatever you have in your fire.
I got flatbread here somewhere.
You tell me, Pam.
me-
What do I have?
Hold on. I got this somewhere.
All right.
Right now, I'm performing Operation Attempt to Save the Prickly Pear. Trying to farm
yeah.
prickly pears because we are so low on them.
Our server is like that too. I don't feel like we're going hard on them. I just feel like they're not very many. They're just orange.
Our world was created with like 86 prickly pears. That was it.
Oh, we have like 8.
Can you farm them?
I'm
do not
trying
know.
right now. I had to find the right temperature and moisture match, and so I'm making a makeshift farm. It's just I think it's west of UCage.
So I need to make a research table, right? That's my next thing.
I left you a hammer in your workbench, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I made one. Oops.
Oh,
Oh wait,
extra
did I
hammer.
make one? Maybe I didn't.
Well, you have one in there.
No, I didn't make it. Why didn't I make it? I tried to make it. I clicked the button. Okay, well, thank you, because I actually needed that.
You're welcome.
I clicked the order button. It didn't do anything. Can I cancel an order if I start one?
Yes. So if you go where it's like working on it, I think you can like right click and cancel
Oh!
or left
Oh
click
my
or something
God.
like that.
Sorry, guys. Please don't kill me in the comments. I need basic crafting too for that. It even says it right there.
Oh,
All right, let me find basic crafting. Oh, so I can't even do basic crafting and. Oh yeah, I can. Is that basic crafting? Yes, it is. Okay. Never mind.
Okay, I am back.
welcome back.
Here, let me get the rest of these questions
missed
off of
you.
YouTube because I gotta clear up that space on my monitor. Okay, so I asked about the different blocks. Topaz. I'm gonna call you Topaz because I don't know how to say that last name. Will there be any fighting system between predator and prey, and for example, wolf attacking you when you're in their territory?
So this is something that I touched earlier, like in not the last question, but about the question before that. there will be a fighting system between animals, definitely, and then we have to see if the wolf can attack maybe the player in the future and hurt him. So that's
Especially
something
Vortex.
we're looking at.
It'd be really cool if the wolf could attack you and take your calories so that you just couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
It would eat you.
No,
Hey.
you have those evil elks coming back, gathering on your roof and planning
There
to
you
attack,
go.
coming at night when you're sleeping.
Cage, in the chest next to my bakery oven, there's some flatbread, and that has carbs without vitamins.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Trading. I don't care about that. All right. All right. What do we got next? General Lankin says, "What will you be doing with the game if Eco becomes the next hit game? Would you expand to other consoles or to consoles?"
So console thing is a question we're getting pretty often on Facebook, at least. It's one of the most second asked questions we get, and for right now we say we would love to do console release in the future, but we don't have any plans to for that, because console release is like, if we would add them now before we even release the final game, and now how well it's received, the final product, like we would waste too much time that could rather go in the actual game development, because doing consoles requires you to get an expensive license to develop on Xbox and PlayStation 4. Then you need the developer console, and then you need to put in time to actually optimize the game to the consoles and do new stuff. So there's a lot of new development in that. So so for right now, there's no two consoles. Maybe in the future, it really depends on how well Eco is received. And for the other part of that question is, like, if it's becoming a hit game and we sell a lot of games, we definitely gonna go and work on Eco and expand on Eco as long as it's possible.
Yes, I could go to someone else's research table, but I kind of want to do it myself just so I can learn.
So, also developing for consoles, isn't it really hard to do with early access? Because I was reading some blogs and some people were saying that every time you put a release out or a patch out, there's a fee associated with that. And that, again, I have not done it myself.
I'm not 100% sure because I haven't checked, but I think that is true. And not only that, like Microsoft or Nintendo or Sony is reviewing your copy, and it's like taking a long time to actually get when you're done with the patch, get it onto the consoles, And while on PC you just push the update out, and like 5 minutes later everybody can download it. While consoles can take days, weeks, months before you can push the update out after you're done with it.
And then it depends on who does the port too. If you do the port yourself, you might have a little bit more control. But if you end up contracting, like 7 Days to Die did, with a third party who handles the port, then you do the code, you turn the port over to them, they decide when the code is ready to be ported, then they make the port. If they have problems, they come back to you. It can be back and forth back and forth, and then they finally put the port out. And yes, there is a fee involved. You're right, Dread. There is.
It sounds expensive to contract somebody out, because I just see so I do IT work, and I used to do outsourced contracting, and I just see dollars keep going up every time you start saying something about it.
Yeah.
So that's a good reason why we don't do any consoles yet, because it would cost too much, it would take too much time, and we are like a small team of 6 people or something like that, 6 developers, 1 or 2 support guys, me and William earlier. William is doing more market stuff now. So yeah.
All right.
But it's not necessarily a no. It might be something later after the game's released.
Definitely, definitely. It really depends on how well Eco sells in the end, and how big of a market is there. Because if Eco does well on PC, then we know there is also a good market on consoles.
Right.
Okay. Sue Chun Lee wants to know. Was wondering when the game does officially come out, is there gonna be increased servers that Eco provides to give better internet connection for players from different regions?
So let me see. Where was that question? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I wrote. I got the questions earlier, and I wrote some things down on it. Some comments for me. Just have to double check what I actually found out about stuff. What we believe with region servers and stuff like that, we want to like have players to be able to themselves to host the game. This is why we have like the server already out there for people to host instead of being forced to buy the game. And this is better than doing official servers and region servers because people have more freedom. Servers can be closer to them than us doing like one server in New York or Seattle that needs to cover all of the United States and the American islands, and then we one server in Europe that needs to cover all of Europe and Russia, and then you have one server in Asia that needs to cover the poor Australian guys.
Right. I'm amazed at how many Australian public servers that people in Australia have set up.
Yeah, so I know at least about one larger Eco server in Australia. So
I know of 2 now. Somebody else just set one up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's the thing. Let me see. There was more to the question.
You want me to ask the next part? Because there's a couple more parts.
Yeah, there are a couple of more parts. So he was wondering when the game comes out, wasn't it? So for now, by the end of this year, maybe is our plan. But as again, when it comes to date and times, I say maybe and never give out any dates because suddenly things can change and it takes a lot longer before Eco comes out fully and is done. So
okay, before I go any farther with this, there's no way to get plant fibers without going into harvesting. Like I have to. So if you want a research table, you have to put points into the harvesting skill.
To get plant fibers, you're going to need a sickle.
Okay.
Yes.
So basically, the survival table. Pretty much, you're going to take almost everything, even if you don't want to specialize in everything.
Yes.
It's almost like survival is the basic and specialization is the other things. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes, exactly. That's the way it's working out now. Pretty much what I did when I started out is I took, I just went through survival and I think I took everything but whatever it was. The one thing I didn't take, and then I ended up going back and taking it later because Chris was doing it all for me. But I've got everything in survival, and then I just specialized in cooking and sewing.
Very domestic.
Yes, very. Did Vortac make anything with all that leather I left?
You know what? I don't know. I wasn't keeping an eye on him. He came over here and built a cute little log cabin, though. So
okay. I guess maybe he built a house instead of made clothes.
I think he probably tried and gave up.
The person answering the questions is the community manager for the game. And these questions were on YouTube. And we're going to take live questions once the YouTube questions are done. But we're going to get to the YouTube questions first. Okay. Francisco Ortiz wants to know, what new things are you adding?
I answered that earlier already, actually.
Okay.
Right now it's stockpiles, realistic storage, a lot of long-term government changes, pollution management, and other surprises we are not talking about.
Yeah, I try not to double up on questions, but I might have got a couple that are the same.
Which might or might not include vehicles. I showed Pam yesterday a little fun video.
Nice. Get hyped, people.
One of the surprise.
Hype!
Get teased, commenters.
I need my tank.
Well, I'm not telling.
Oh.
It looked cool. Let's say
It
like
did,
that.
It did. It's super.
Oh, there's a wanted thing. Like I could put. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'll have to get into that later. Anyway, Nimanja. I'm just gonna do the first name because I butchered that as it was. Do you have a plan to add some types of enemies / NPCs?
There are currently no plans for that. No.
Okay.
Except maybe wolves that'll attack you.
Yes.
Yeah. But I guess they think a bit more like we had
Hunters or something.
recently on Discord, that one guy going, zombies, add zombies.
I want a game like this where you can get NPCs to do your bidding for you. Like, I should be able to set an NPC, and I know you guys could never do this. It's probably very incredibly technical and almost impossible, but I'd like to be able to set an area and be like, just dig this out or mine down here. Like, I can remember Minecraft, like modern Minecraft, like the kinds of stuff they did in modern Minecraft. They weren't NPCs, they were machines, but I think it would be cooler even with NPCs. But
yeah. The issue is it is actually a lot of work. This is why you have games like Castle Story, which is basically just about that. You know, you point and say, dig out this area, and then they do that, and the event there, and like simple stuff, and build this house, and So yeah, it is actually a lot of work. So, and also Eco is about team play. So adding friendly NPCs that gives you does these things for you is like breaking the team play a little bit, in my opinion, at least.
Thank you, Mojo. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome.
All right, so let's see what else we got here. Jonathan B said, "I'd appreciate."
It's a
this is
double
same question. Same question. I'd appreciate a rundown on everything you're going to be doing in content-wise. And and we pretty much went through that one. All right, let me scroll down on this. We are getting close to the end of this question stuff. I'm going to read this one first, just to make sure it's not. What are you guys doing? Okay, yeah, this is a good one. Okay, Radlad, how exactly are you planning to get this into the classroom in schools? I know it's in alpha right now. But I feel like the final version of the game will need a decent computer to run. And from what I've seen, most schools can't afford that kind of hardware in bulk.
So, Eco is built for the classrooms of the future. So you most likely need a little bit better hardware, but already now it's running somewhat acceptable on like non-gaming hardware, like I know Max can sort of run it pretty okay-ish with an HD 4000 integrated graphics card, which is not good at playing games at all. But yeah, when Eco comes out, hopefully we have a lot of better hardware, which is quite cheap, also for Macs, Linux, and Windows. And it's basically a game for the future.
I mean, to be honest, I think the client itself would, at least, the classroom computers that we have around here could easily run the client itself. I think the problem would be the server. That's where they're going to need the hardware.
Yeah, but for the hardware, I think having external server hosters, I know there are a couple of, at least one of that is giving out some free servers for schools right now,
right,
to support them, and we may be looking forward to even have a paid version for them to do it, if they don't want to choose something else. So, of course, that is a question we're getting sometimes. So I don't believe servers are using so much computing power. You can.
No, it's not.
The only thing that you need is like a decent memory and dual core, quad core CPU, and nothing else to have a decent server running.
Well, Kill Servers is hosting servers, and now, to be honest, when you generate your world, that server's going to take every bit of CPU it can find to build that world when it generates it, when it first starts up. But once it's started up, it settles down and it uses very little CPU, and the memory tax isn't high. So I don't really see it being, it's not like a school is going to need a mainframe or something to run this.
Yeah, and anyway, right now our first target is the consumer market because that helps us a lot of like balancing the game and learn stuff, and then we get to classrooms later while classrooms get up to speed.
So I have a question: is there any salt in the game?
Salt.
Salt?
Yes, salt.
Just
No.
my parts break.
I want to be able to salt my lawn so nothing ever grows here again. Because this stupid freaking Mother Nature is getting on my nerves.
You know, there is something similar to that, and that's called tailing.
Okay, I'm on it.
Oh, there you go.
Put
Pollution.
tailings down in your front yard, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
going
you
in
dare,
it's
you
going,
live
it's,
close to me.
it's going on the front yard and in the river.
Lawn tailings.
That's right,
Come
caveman. Trying to think if I have any other questions. I think I'm going to actually take a break